Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and in today's video we will work on this game right here. Okay, so in the last episode we have worked on this gear second right here. So as you can see we have those stains, and yeah, this episode we will work on some adaptation regarding our few attacks we have already made. Alright. But wait, before we actually move on with editing those attacks, let's try to finish this gear second by making the player able to move again. And by adding an animation maybe. And to make the player able to get rid of this gear second right here, okay? So these three things before we actually move on with creating the attacks. Okay. So by adding this weight right here and by adding this code, so this code basically refers to the humanoid's walk speed and then sets it to 16. And down here we refer to the jump power and we set it to 50. And those are the default values for either the walk speed and jump power. And we have set them to 0 up here, which makes the player unable to move. And down here we just revert them back to default. Okay, now let's try to create an animation. Okay, so that's it for our animation. Go to these three dots, select animation priority, and then set it to action. Now let's export this thing. And of course, copy the animation ID. Now, let's get back into our script. And let's first of all add those two. Yeah, you know, so those two things right here to create a comment and then add the animation ID. Now let's just copy an extract of the code. Yeah, down here, for example. So you know that this code is responsible for creating an animation and making it play. We are going to use this one to make our gear second animation play. Okay. Okay, so let's play. Let's see how this is going to look like. Yeah, it is okay. All right, so now let's work on... Yo, so the main thing is actually missing for this gear second. I don't know if I have already explained it to you, but somehow need to make the script recognize that that the gear second is currently equipped. And I planned on doing that by creating a certain value, an int value inside of our character, which is called gear second, and which makes the other script notice when, or that gear second is currently being used, you know? So let me try and show you what I'm talking about. So local x instance.new int value character x name gear second. Okay, so let me show you what happens. So this is my character, okay? And as you can see, there is no int value called gear second inside of it. Now, if I decide to activate gear second, then this is going to happen. As you can see, a value is being created, okay? And this value right here is going to vanish once we unequip this gear second, and other scripts or other parts of the script, for example, this Gomu GATLING, is always going to check if there is this gear second value. And if it's there, then it knows that it has to do the jet GATLING instead of the normal GATLING. Okay, so that's the purpose of this value right here. Okay, so that's it with the gear second. Now we need to make this gear second unequip. And we need to make the script differentiate in two cases. The first case is when there is no gear second value inside of the character. And this case allows us to add the gear second to our character. So by turning the whole character into gear second mode. And the other case is of course when there is a gear second value inside of the character, then we need to get rid of it. Okay, so the first case is already scripted right here. So that's about creating the gear second. The second case is about to remove the gear second. So let me first of all add those two differences. So if not character find first child gear second, then end. Okay, so if there is no gear second value inside of our character, then we want to create the gear second and the value. Now, the other case, else, means there is a gear second value inside of our character. So the other case is responsible to get rid of all of the stuff which has been created right here. Okay, and in order to do that, we need to do the following. So we could even speed up the player within gear second mode. So I think that I'm gonna do that. So 24 walk speed instead of 16. And now in order to get rid of all of those single parts, such as the smoke, the shards, the animation, what is this? Oh. Wait. Okay. Yeah, so the animation and this value. So we need to get rid of all of those. Okay. And for those purposes, we need to use this for IV in pairs loop to loop through the character. And do not use get children, use get descendants. Because get children only gets this superficial instances right here, okay? So only these ones. But get descendants actually gets every instance which is somehow parented to this dummy. And when I say that, I actually mean that it is not only going to get those, but also this one, this one, this one, or these ones, this one, you know, so actually every instance which is somehow a member of this dummy right here, or of your character in this case. Okay, and we're going to check if either the name, so the name is your second, or the name is yes, or the name is short. If that's the case, then we are going to get rid of those. So the destroy. Okay, so let's check how this is, or how this looks like. Okay, gear second removed, but we still have the speed. So let's get rid of this as well. Okay. So what happens right here is that we are actually looping through everything instead of the character, and we are checking if the instance at which we are currently at has either the name gear second, which is our int value, gs, which is our animation, or short, which are our shorts, or gear second shorts, or pinker shorts, okay? And if any of those instances have any of those names, we want to destroy them, because those are the instances we want to get rid of. And after every instance has been destroyed, which is associated with gear second, you can move on by restoring the character's walk speed. Okay, and that's actually it with the gear second and unequipping the gear second. Now we want to work on the adaptation of those moves right here. And I have already explained to you about this gear second int value. So how those attacks are going to recognize whether gear second is currently used or not. And we are now going to, make use of that. Okay. Okay, so let's check what I have just done. Let's see how this whole thing affects this Gomu pistol. So this is our Gomu pistol, and this is our jet pistol. As you can see, nothing actually happens, and I'm gonna tell you why. So there is one issue related to this. The thing is that we have, so let me explain what I have done. So I have made these checks, okay? Let's just check if there is no gear second instance instead of the character. Okay, so if there is no gear second instance instead of the character, then it is going to create all of this stuff. So the fake arms, the welding, etc. So you can just check out my Gomu video to understand those lines. And we just do the same thing right here, okay? The only part where we haven't done this is the damage dealing part, okay? And that's the point. Now, the reason why our arms do not turn invisible is that we have also included those weights instead of those checks. And since those checks are being skipped because we are in gear second, they're like, so they are being skipped and there is no weight in between, means it just does this, then creates the sound, and then goes through this, and then directly jumps to this, okay? And there is no weight in between. That's the problem. So we need to add weight, and we also need to add those shockwaves I have created to make this your second look more, to make this jet pistol look more authentic. And yeah, so let's do that. So I'm adding this exception right here, okay? So the first case is that there is no gear second, and the second one is that there is a gear second. And we're now going to create a shockwave. So S, and the shockwave is located inside of the replicated storage. Therefore, game get service replicated storage shockwave. Come on. So let's put this inside of the character. So come on, character. Let's anchor this one. Let's make sure that can collide is false. And let's give it a decent size. So and now to the C framing. Anchor. Yeah, okay, I forgot. 2 characters, come on. Okay, there we go, as you can see. That's what happens. Yeah, there we go. That's actually how you want things to look like. You just want to make this a little bit bigger. And we want to change the positioning a little bit. And we want to add this weight to make the arms actually look like they have vanished for a little amount of seconds. Yeah, as you can see, it actually does that. Okay, so we are almost done with the pistol. Where was it? Where was it? Yeah, okay. It was right here. So 1.5, let's say. There we go. Okay, so let me add this tweening right here to make it actually look like, yeah, to make it look like it would vanish. Okay. So transparency 1. So you should know how this tween service works. At least I hope so, because I have explained it pretty detailed in my previous episodes. So if you have no idea, then go ahead and watch them. There we go. Okay, so what is this? Wait, oh. So reverse was true. Get rid of that. And also do game debris at item S after 3 seconds. Okay, and then that's actually it for our jet pistol. Now let's move ahead with jet bazooka. Oh, never mind. There's still one more thing we should consider working on, which has to do with the damage. So we of course want to increase the damage. Therefore, we can do the following. So we can copy this part right here, and down here where it says damage, we can also add those checks. So if the player has no gear second value, then it just deals the default amount of damage. And if there is this gear second value, then we want to increase the damage by 5 in this case. Okay. Now let's move on with the Gomu bazooka down here. And I'm gonna do the same as up there. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and add those checks again. Okay. Now let's go right here. And let's add this exception again. So this other case I'm always talking about. Let's add this for I loop, because this one is actually pretty important. Okay. So I'm going to explain you, or I'm going to explain you what I have done right here. Do not worry. Okay, so I have basically just took this for I loop, so you guys should know what these lines right here do. If not, watch the bazooka video. And I'm actually just doing the same as up there, so I'm blowing the shockwave, etc, etc. The only difference is at the positioning. So for I or index equals 1, or for the first loop, I'm positioning this shockwave on our left arm, and for the second loop on the right arm, okay? And that's important, because we want the shockwave to be on both sides of our arms, because it is about the Gomu jet bazooka, okay? Therefore, you need to do it this way. Okay. One more thing we should take care of is the damage again. So I've cloned the damage dealing port up there. And I'm now gonna replace it. So the default damage is at 20. So we are going to do 25. Okay. And the last thing has to do with the Gatling. Okay, and this one is actually more easier. Or more easy. So I'm gonna copy this right here again. And I'm gonna paste it right here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you guys should know that this creates the Gatling arm, and we now want to create the shockwaves instead of those arms. So we are once again going to take this shockwave code right here. And yeah. Could actually take this and paste it right here. Of course. Okay. So let's test this out. Let's see how this is going to look like. Okay. So pistol, bazooka, and now Gatling. There we go. Now we have unequipped gear second, and now we have our default moves right here, as you can see. Okay, so this is a cooldown issue. Okay, there we go. Alright guys, so that's it with the video and for our Gomu moveset right here. So now to finish this, so it's actually the same as up there, with the only difference that we have integrated this C-framing right here. You guys should be familiar with from our Gatling video. Okay, so that's the only difference. Alright, thanks for watching guys. If you have liked this video, please subscribe, share this video to all of your friends, turn on the notification bell, like the video, comment, give me feedback in the comment section. Take care and see you in the next video.